So I realized I hadn't done the next video that I said I was going to do, and it's been a little while, so figured, well, I might as well do it now while I'm thinking about it. So like I said, I was going to start at the beginning of my journey, how I got here, why I started it. It wasn't any one event per se. It was a build-up over time like anybody else. It's not like I put on the weight in a week. I started seeing things like we went to Cedar Point, couldn't ride any rides. I wouldn't fit, the lap bars won't go down. So, you make excuses. Oh, I'm not that big. I'm just a slightly bigger than an average American. This is ridiculous. They should be making seats that fit everybody. And then, you get angry and you act like it's not your fault. But deep down, I knew it was because I put on too much weight. So, things like that. Then you get into issues where my kids would want to play and I didn't have the energy. Work that I used to do around the house myself because I knew how to do it. I started hiring out because I felt like I didn't have the time, but I knew what the issue was. I'd start working, I'd get about an hour or two in, I'd be out of breath, my knees would hurt, my back started hurting, and so I knew I had to do something. The final straw came at the start of COVID. They put me on a medication for something, and I know COVID didn't help, but I'd already been losing weight. I actually was doing keto. I did all right on it, but again, as soon as you go off of it, you put a lot of the weight back on. So you have to be dedicated. It's a lifestyle change. It's not just a diet. So what happened was I lost 30 pounds, but they put me on this new medication, and like I said, COVID, it was 2020. So I knew I was probably going to put on weight, but I had lost 30. I put on 50 in like 2 months. And that rapid weight gain triggered all kinds of blood issues. I had cholesterol, blood pressure problems, heart issues, and so diabetes I was pre-diabetic. My A1C went through the roof, in a couple of months. So when that happened, I'm like, I don't want to be on medications. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So I went through the Cleveland Clinic. There's a website. I think most hospitals have it. You have to go through like a screening process. There's a video I had to watch. Then they check your insurance, see if it actually covers it. So, like I said before, if you're going to start, just start. Don't wait. Don't keep making excuses. If you want to lose the weight, and this is something you're thinking about, it was a little easier for me. I had also a hiatal hernia. I've had GERD for 20 years. I'd been wanting to get rid of it. I had actually had the surgery once to repair it. It had failed. The only other way to fix it at this point was basically gastric bypass. So my path was already set. If I wanted to go that route, was going to be gastric bypass anyway. So that made my choice a little easier because, like I said, GERD sucks. Been taking medications for that forever. So I went through the screening, and keep in mind, like, at any point you can stop the process. They have two routes. They have surgical, non-surgical. They actually have nutritionists and dietitians that you can visit. They can help you lose weight. So if you don't want to go surgery, you could start down the non-surgical route. And then if you decide to go the surgical route, they could actually just switch you over at any time. They said it's not a big deal. So it's a 6-month process. And again, 3 months in, you decide that's not right for you, you could switch from surgical to non-surgical. So starting the process, there's really no excuse not to start it if you're thinking about it, because there's no negative. You can change at any time. No one's going to force you to do the surgery if 3 months down the road you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. They're not going to go, well, too bad. It's scheduled. You're having it. No, that's not how that works. You have a lot of things you have to stop, like drinking. During the 6 months, you have to prove that you can stop drinking, because after surgery, even though it's like 6 months, you can start drinking a little bit, you're more prone to alcoholism, and alcohol affects you a lot worse. There's no smoking in the program or after, because that'll give ulcers, because you have that reduced stomach or this pouch or whatever you want to call it. So smoking's out of the question. So, I mean, if you're not going to be able to quit smoking, surgery is probably not for you. If you want to use it as an excuse to quit smoking, hey, whatever, do it. Again, like I said, there's been very few negatives. I know everyone has a different experience. Like I said, I'll go over the surgery, especially the pre-surge and the surgery stuff, and then like the next video. There's a lot of like 2 to 4 weeks before surgery, and then like 4 to 8 weeks after that are their own thing. They're their own monster. it was worth it, but there was moments after surgery, about 3 weeks in, I was starting to really think that I do the right thing. But you break through that wall, you get to a turning point basically, and things get better. So yeah, so basically for me, like I said, they're just summing it up, like the decision to make to go down the route was a culmination of things, but I knew I had to change something. I wasn't sure what was best. So I'm lucky my wife actually works with my surgeon. She's in a different department, but they overlap. So she knew her going in. So I was a little, because I knew a lot of information going into the process ahead of time. Not a lot of people know that. So that's why I'm trying to do this, to kind of like tell you this. The first visit's probably the scariest because you're not sure what to expect. They're extremely nice. They're not gonna like harp on you because they understand it's not going to happen overnight. Like, it's 6 months for a reason. You have to prove over that 6 months that you can change, because it's not just the surgery. Like, if you go into it afterwards thinking, oh, I can just go back to how I used to be, no, you need to change. It's a whole thing. So even then, I still struggle with some stuff every once in a while. You know, I'm 7 or 8 months now. I can't even remember. Coming up on 8 months, yeah. So even now, I still have some times where I'm like, man, I kind of wish I could still do this, or man, this food's really good, I wish I could eat more. But don't push it. You don't want to go down there. I'm lucky. I've never thrown up because I ate too much. I know people that have. You can do it easily because it sneaks up. So you gotta go eat slow, small. That does, like I said, I'll go over that stuff later. But no, it was a fairly easy choice for me, and I do not regret 1 second of it, except for during that post-op section. Like I said, I'll kind of talk about that in another video. But I hope these help. Like I said, I'm going to keep doing them, probably 3 or 4 more at least, and then I'll try to update as I go, you know, at 1 year and that kind of stuff when I get there. So like I said, hopefully I help someone with this. So I appreciate it. Anyone that watches it, I hope I helped you. So thanks.